The path no wider than a knife. On the width of the way. A pilgrim in his youth was told by his teacher that the path to the center was no wider than the edge of a knife. The pilgrim had nodded. He had thought it was a metaphor. He had set out the next morning. He had walked for many days. He had come in time to the foot of a great mountain. At the foot of the mountain there was a small sign which said, "The path begins here." He looked at the sign. He looked at the path. The path was, in fact, no wider than the edge of a knife. It rose up the side of the mountain in a single thin line. On either side of the line was nothing. On the left, a great drop. On the right, a different great drop. The line itself was very narrow. He could not see how a man could walk on it. He took a step onto the line. He fell immediately off the right side. He fell perhaps 30 feet into a soft place and lay there for a while, considering. He was not hurt. He climbed back to the path. He took a step. He fell off the left side. He fell again into a soft place. He climbed back. This continued for some years. He fell in his first 10 years on the path perhaps 1,000 times. He fell to the right mostly. He sometimes fell to the left. Each fall left a small wound. The wounds did not heal completely. They became scars. The scars grew thick. He grew in time thick with scars, but he climbed back each time to the path. The path itself was unchanged. It remained no wider than the edge of a knife. The pilgrim came, in his 20th year, to a small hut beside the path, where an old man lived. The old man had been on the path, the pilgrim understood, for many decades. He had a face full of scars. He moved slowly. He had a great calm about him. "How do you stay on the path?" said the pilgrim. "Do not," said the old man, "but you do not fall as often as I do. I have fallen as often as you have. I have, in fact, fallen more often than you have because I have been on the path longer. The scars are mine." "Then how is it that you have come so far?" The old man considered. "I have stopped expecting to stay on the path," he said. "I expect to fall, I climb back. I take another step, I fall, I climb back. I take another step. The path is no wider than the edge of a knife. No one walks it without falling. Those who say they walk it without falling are lying or are not, in fact, on the path. The path is made of the falling and the climbing back. The path is not in itself walkable. It is only climbable-back-to." The pilgrim sat with him for a while. "How far is the center?" he asked. "I do not know," said the old man. "I am not at the center. I have been climbing back to the path for 40 years. I have made some progress, in that I fall less often than I once did, but I do not know how far the center is. I am not sure the center is exactly in the place I once thought it was. The center, I think, is something the path makes. The walking and the falling are what make it. The center is not separate from the path. The center is what the path produces in the walker by the falling and the climbing back." The pilgrim stayed with him for a year. Then he went on. He walked for another 40 years. He fell. He climbed back. He fell again. He climbed back. He became, like the old man, thick with scars and slow and very calm. In his 80th year, he came at last to a place where the path widened. He stood in the wide place. He looked back at the path. He looked forward. In front of him was a city. The city was vast. Its walls were high. Its gates were open. The path that had been no wider than the edge of a knife became, in this wide place, a great paved road leading directly into the city. The road was wide enough for 1,000 pilgrims to walk abreast. He understood then that he had reached the center. He understood also that he could not have reached it by any other road. He could not have walked from the foot of the mountain on a road as wide as this. The road as wide as this was for those who had already arrived. The road of the knife edge was for those who were arriving. The knife edge had not been a punishment. The knife edge had been the only road that could have led him here. The falling had not been failure. The falling had been the path. He walked slowly into the city. He did not, when he entered, find the things he had expected to find. He found, instead, other men and women with similar scars to his own, who looked at him with the recognition of those who have arrived by the same road. They embraced him. They led him into a small house. They gave him a bath and food and a bed. He lived in the city for 10 more years. He died at 90 in his sleep. He was buried under a wide flagstone in the city's central square. The flagstone had no inscription. It did not need one. The center is not the kind of place that requires inscriptions. The path to the center is no wider than the edge of a knife. You will fall perhaps 1,000 times. Each fall leaves a scar. The path is not in itself walkable, it is only climbable back to. The road widens. At the end, the wide road is for those who have arrived. The knife edge is the only road that leads to the wide road. Do not curse the falling is the path. XVI. Tales of the Black Feast.